What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a drone that I believe has so much potential, a drone that I think got snubbed when it first came out by a lot of people, and that drone is the Parrot Anafi. You see, when you think of Parrot, you might think of their toy drones like the Bebop or the Mambo, and you might even think of their fixed-wing drone, the Disco, but the Anafi is a drone in its own class. It's a drone that I believe is so much more than just another toy. Look, I realize that I'm late to the game reviewing this drone as it came out back in the middle of 2018. I remember I went to the launch event, and that's pretty much the only hands-on time that I had with the Parrot Anafi, and right now I might be hyping it up, like I might be making it seem like it is the best drone ever, but it does of course have its pitfalls, which I'll get to later in the video. But right now I want to go over some of the things that I like about this drone. Before you even get this thing in the air, you'll immediately see one of the biggest reasons that I've been recommending this drone, and that is the price. Now, Parrot's website still has it listed for the original price of $699, which I personally believe is a little bit too expensive, but if you go onto Best Buy, they have it priced out at $599, and Amazon even has it as low as $520. Now, these prices continue to fluctuate all over the place, but this is a damn good drone for the price. Now, if you guys have been watching some of my recent videos, you'll know that the Mavic 2 Pro is my daily flyer. It gets about 2 or 3 flights every single day. It stays inside of the bag that I bring everywhere, but also inside of that bag is a Mavic Air, and the Mavic Air serves as a backup to the Mavic 2 Pro, and they're both so similar. But that's the problem. They both do the same thing, and the Mavic 2 Pro does everything better than the Mavic Air. So the Mavic Air just kind of sat there unless I ran out of battery with the Mavic 2 Pro, or it was also there to serve just in case like my Mavic 2 Pro was to break. But with that said, I was always reaching for my Mavic 2 Pro, and the Mavic Air saw the inside of my bag more than it saw flight time. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago, I swapped the Mavic Air out for the Parrot Anafi, and I'm glad that I did, because not only am I enjoying the Anafi more, but it can actually offer me certain things that the Mavic 2 Pro simply can't. Rather than this being a backup drone, it actually plays different roles in the work that I do and allows me to get more done with what I have in my backpack. For example, the gimbal can pitch up and down a full 180 degrees, which means it can look straight up, and while this might not be a game changer, it certainly does come in handy in certain inspection situations. In fact, just the other day I was on a job where I was helping some contractors inspect an entire building. I was taking some photos and videos for them, and one of the areas of concern was the metal flashing around the top portion of the facade. So it was like an area where the roof connected to the side of the building, and it was obviously flaring up. So I put the drone up, and when I first used my Mavic 2 Pro, I wanted to get an upward angle, and I just simply wasn't able to because the camera cannot pitch up far enough. So I grabbed the Parrot Anafi out of my bag, I pitched the gimbal to a degree of positive 45, and it was perfect. It gave me the exact angle that I needed, and I was really happy I had this as my second drone to lean back on, because it can accomplish things that my Mavic 2 Pro just can't. This upward gimbal pitch paired with the shorter propellers is helpful when shooting cinematic video, as well as the propellers will literally never ever get into your shot. I've noticed that at faster speeds the gimbal will jerk just a bit when flying, but that only happens immediately after you get the drone moving. As you begin to cruise, the gimbal moves quite smoothly up and down. Speaking of that flight performance, I couldn't be happier with the Anafi, especially for its size. I never feel like I'm being held back by its top speed. I never feel like I'm being held back by its battery life, but range is a different story. But that's to be expected from any drone that operates over the Wi-Fi transmission system. Now, on the screen, I'm going to put up some of the important specs. These are the advertised specs of the Anafi, and I can verify that most of these hold true. I'm almost positive that I can get this thing flying faster than 34 miles per hour. The flight time, I'd say, is more like 17 to 20 minutes depending on how you fly, which I think is great. And the range of 2.5 miles, well, that's where I seem to be having the most issues. You see, all of these drones that operate off of a Wi-Fi transmission system are always going to give you issues. You're never going to be able to hit that maximum range unless you're in a truly isolated area. For example, with me, I was only able to get past 2 miles with my Mavic Air when I was flying off of the beach. So when I was actually going over water and there wasn't any sort of like wireless routers or cell phones near me interrupting my signal. Overall, it kind of diminishes the enjoyment of the drone. I haven't been able to get my Anafi out past 1 mile. I just don't feel comfortable because the drone is a little bit smaller, and also by the time I hit like 4,000 or 5,000 feet, it pretty much totally cuts out. I would say that the range is probably the Anafi's greatest flaws, but a redeeming quality when it comes to its poor range is that the return to home is a step above what the other companies can offer. It just works so swiftly with the Anafi. Like, I can press return to home and it wastes no time coming straight back to me. I feel like with the DJI drone, on the other hand, sometimes it takes a while, like it waits around, it lollygags, but this thing on the other hand comes right back to me and hovers right in front of me waiting for its next command. Now really quickly, getting back to the flight performance of the Anafi, there's something built into the application that really allows you to tweak how the drone flies. It lets you change a ton of these different settings that allow you to customize the drone to your specific preferences in terms of flight performance. Within the piloting section of the settings, we have the option to change how fast the drone can fly up and down, how fast it inclines, how fast it spins around, how fast the gimbal looks up and down, and so much more. Depending on the different situations I find myself in, I change these around quite frequently, and to make this easier, I wish they had different slots for save modes instead of just filming and sport mode, but you can't really complain when there's not many other manufacturers giving us these types of settings that are so easy to configure. I mean, they make it really easy on the user to just change what they want and go. There are just so many things to like about this drone. I really just couldn't even put them all in this video, but I do want to go over some of my favorite things I've been enjoying about this drone, sort of in like a rapid fire way, so that we can just move on with the video. To kick things off, the batteries charge up via USB-C, which makes charging on the go easy, and it saves space in my bag, so I don't have to carry any extra proprietary cords. The drone unfolds so fast, which makes setup time next to nothing, and the same is true for packing up once you're done flying. The gimbal and zoom control on the back side of the remote is done through these paddle-like wheels, which makes nailing cinematic shots really easy. The app is incredible. In fact, I would go as far as saying it is the greatest drone companion app across the board in literally every category, and the drone is hands down the quietest that I've ever flown. Here, take a listen. To wrap up what I like about the Parrot Anafi, I of course have to touch on the camera, which I've pretty much got no complaints with. It shoots phenomenal photos, it shoots phenomenal videos, which I'll show here on the screen, but I'll also include a Google Drive link in the description so you can download some of these in their fullest quality and play it back right there on your device. Now, I've been doing a lot of shooting in the normal color profile, despite there being the P-Log profile, which is more flat and better for color grading, and my reasoning behind this is just laziness, but it's also because I think the video coming right out of the camera looks great. It only needs a few minor tweaks to look just the way that I want it. For example, I think that sometimes it can be a bit too warm, which is easy to fix with a custom white balance. If you are a professional filmmaker, and maybe if you shoot like short films, you're probably not going to want to go with the Parrot Anafi, but if you literally do anything else, from real estate to roof inspections to facade inspections to really inspections of any kind, or even social media content creation, the Parrot Anafi is going to give you a great image. So if you're somebody who's serious and you want the best image out of a drone that's pretty damn small, look at the Parrot Anafi, because I think it delivers in pretty much every single aspect, from flight performance to image quality to just an overall fun time to fly. Now I want to switch gears a little bit and get into some of the things that I don't like about the Parrot Anafi, and there's only a few things, and as you guys know me, they're kind of things that I nitpick on, but it's hard to say bad things about a drone that's gotten so good over time. Now, I already talked about how the range is pretty mediocre at best, but one of my other complaints about this drone is the remote. Yes, it's cool that it turns on right when you open it up without the need to push any buttons. Yes, it's nice it charges via USB-C, and yes, it's cool it has those little paddle wheels on the back, but it just feels so small. I love a beefy remote like the Inspire's remote, but look, these are two totally different drones. The Anafi is targeting an audience looking for something portable, so in turn, the remote also had to be portable. I also find it very frustrating that you aren't able to prime the motors and manually take the drone off by pushing the sticks inwards. Rather, you have to use the auto takeoff function through the controller or app. I might just be missing something here, but I would definitely rather avoid these automatic features. Something else that you should be wary of is the lack of accessories. This isn't like a DJI drone where every accessory under the sun is made in different ways by different companies. A lot of things I have seen are merely 3D printed, like this stick cover, and I was unable to find a healthy selection of ND filters, the main sellers being Freewell, and I believe I saw Skyreet, but I have neglected to pick any of these up yet, so I'll have to do that eventually. So guys, I'm pretty sure I hit everything that I wanted to cover in this video. I would say that the Anafi has proven to be so much more than just a toy. When I first saw it came out, I thought it was like a hybrid between a Spark and a Mavic Air, but I think that it actually supersedes what the Mavic Air can offer, as it's got a great camera. It shoots 21 or 20 megapixel photos. It's also got a great flight time. 25 minutes is pretty good. I'd say it's closer to 20 minutes. The build quality is also good. I know a lot of people were trashing the frame of the drone because they thought it was too light, they thought it was too flimsy, but take it from me, I've crashed it a couple of times and it really is a resilient little drone. Also, funny story, I actually had this drone fall 200 feet from the sky. It wasn't my drone, but I was testing with somebody else. The Parrot Anafi fell 200 feet out of the sky and was fine. That's saying something. Anyway, guys, this drone is awesome. It offers a great app experience. I know I didn't talk about all that many specs in this video, but I wanted to give you some of my opinions on other things than just the specs, because this drone definitely delivers. Now, anyway, guys, if you've got any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.